We're not talking about astrology. We're talking about the Nova G3 wood turning chuck. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Welcome to Wisconsin Woodworking. Today we're going to be talking about the Nova G3 chuck, and we are going to open up the box. We are going to degrease it, and we are going to assemble it. And then we're going to just talk about the chuck and the attachments that you can get with it. So let's get started. All right, let's zoom in a little bit. All right, what we have here is we have the G3 chuck that I picked up for $109 from Rockler. We got the wrench for opening and closing the chuck. We have the chuck. We have the worm gear and all the screws to attach the chuck. Jaws, 4mm, looks like a 4mm and something else in there. Allen wrench. And then we have the jaws. So let's get started. Now on these jaws are marked 1 through 4. Wow. And then they have a marking on the chuck, and they're either marked by the number or by dots. And they have to you have to put them in the same order as the jaw markings. Alright, so to clean these off, I always use a little of this WD-40. So let's spray these down a little bit. WD-40 cuts right through that stuff. So, the Nova chuck, this G3 is actually the smaller of the Nova chucks. And the reason of the smaller chuck I have is because I have a mid-eye lathe made by Rikon. It's the 12.5 by 20, and I got rid of my full size because I'm not doing any big turnings anymore. Kind of going down backwards. I just don't see any reason for that kind of turning anymore. I'm not doing them kind of projects. So sold it, picked up a new one. Eventually I'll be doing a product review on the Rikon 12.5 by 20 lathe, but that'll be the 2016 at some point because I have cabinets to make to actually bolt that onto. And anyways, the recommendation for any mini or mid-eye lathe is the G3 size chuck. That way you're not spinning a heavier chuck, putting pressure on your spindle and spindle bearings. Otherwise, I mean, you can run a larger chuck, but when you do so, you're putting a lot of pressure on, again, your spindle and your spindle bearings, and you don't really want to burn them out on your own lathe. That'd be an expensive fix. Now, you can change these jaws by removing the 8 screws that they have. A lot of guys will buy more than one chuck and put all the different jaws on them. So all they have to do is spin off this chuck and put a different chuck on with the jaws that they want. I'm trying to just get the most of the oil on the outside off. Now I'm not going to try to take any oil out of the ring gear inside or any of that. Now, here are the screws with the wrench and the worm gears in here. So, we have a chuck here. We have to look. There it is, stamped. Right here. It's stamped 1. That's the 4, 3, and 2. And then, if you look on the back side, it's got the number 2 stamped there. This one will have the 3. Let me zoom in a little bit again. Let you guys watch what I'm doing here. Let me adjust this a little bit. There we go. Alright. So what we want to do is, we got 2, there's 4, there's 3. Let's set it out like it's in order. There's 1. I'm going to take 1. Sometimes it said that we needed to bang on it a little bit, but I don't see why we need to. No, you just need to find the proper Allen wrench, which is a 4mm Allen wrench. Now you don't want to crank these down super tight. You want to put it in where it stops. And I'll show you in a minute. Just turn all these in. And then what you're supposed to do is back it off a half turn on each of the jaws. And I'll show you why in a second here. Let me just get these all on. I don't know why my thing keeps moving. Now, you could put some blue Loctite on your threads to ensure that they don't come off, but if you're going to be changing your jaws, just make sure that you got them locked down tight, because if you keep putting a Loctite on, you might not get your jaws off. So, I'm almost done here. I'm going to put them in and then I'll back them back off here. Sorry, my hands are in the way. Trying to bring that in so you can see what I'm doing. Kind of hard when you shoot the video yourself. Alright, so now we do back off, back off, back off, back off, back off, back off. Then they recommend you take your wrench, and it's counterclockwise to tighten, clockwise to loosen. So what you do now that you backed them off is what you're going to do is you're going to turn the wrench in the hole, and you're going to bring this in, and you're going to take it to where they all touch each other. And what you're doing is you're adjusting all the jaws so that you have a true center. Just bring it in so that they actually have a true center. Now you can't close it anymore. There's no real gaps. If it had a gap, it means that you had it on wrong. So that's a true center. Then you come back and you lock down your jaws. And every periodically after turning, you want to come back through. Just make sure that all of your screws are nice and tight. Okay. Do the insides. Now, with this chuck, they don't recommend you go over a 100 millimeter jaw set. So Nova does have a 100 and a 130 jaw chuck set. Oh, drop my wrench. And the reason they don't recommend that is due to the size of the material you'd be turning, especially on a mini or mid-eye lathe. So they recommend you stay under the 100 millimeter. Also, they recommend with this chuck not to exceed 10 inches in diameter and anything longer than 5 inches in length. That way you don't end up having a piece that comes loose and comes off. Now, I've seen a lot of guys turn bigger pieces with a smaller chuck. They use their live center to help balance it out, put some pressure against it. All right, all 8 of these screws have been tightened down. So we can actually back this out. And like I said, counterclockwise tightens it. Clockwise opens it to release your product. And there we have it. I can actually open this up. And that's it. That's the max amount that we can open. So if we would get a tape measure, let's see what that diameter is. Almost 2.5 inches. Let's see if I can do this on screen. Oh boy. There we are. Almost 2.5, 2 7/16 right there. So you'd want to probably put your dovetail down to 2 1/4, 2 3/8 and tighten it down 2 inch. Now you can, this is just one of the jaws. You can get other ones that are a little bit larger if you need a good piece of, you know, a tail to turn it on. Anyways, they give you a set screw. The adapter screws into here. And they make all different adapters, 1 and 8, 1 and 12, I don't, there's a whole bunch. So the adapters, you gotta find out what your spindle is. Most common is 1 and 8. My old lathe was a 1 and 12. So you screw that in, you lock it down real tight with a wrench. And then they give you a set screw. Well, you can see that in here. It's right there. I put it in, and then you come through the hole, and you would set screw the threads in to help guarantee that it doesn't back out on you while you're turning. Now, I would recommend on this definitely putting some blue Loctite. Put just a little bit on the threads and then spin it in and set your set screw and put a little blue Loctite on there. Now, I put the set screw in here so I wouldn't lose it. On these, if you're going to change the jaws, I wouldn't bother with the Loctite. But if you're going to keep this chuck with just this jaw set, then Loctite these down. Now, I put the worm gear in to show you where it goes, and that is just done by coming in here, put your wrench back in, and then you're going to counterclockwise, that tightens it, and clockwise loosens it. So the worm gear is just the gear. You can see it's got flat spots and round spots. Your chuck is round. So you're going to want to put, let's just close it up a little bit. You're going to want the round sides. Okay, I'll do it for a purpose. Now let's see if you can see that. You see the flat spot in the round? You're kind of getting some air in there. See that? That's no good. You have to turn this. Let me turn this so that it's all round. Here, it's kind of hard when you Alright. Kind of hard when you're trying to hold it. Alright, so you want to make sure that the round part of the worm gear here is matching the round part of the jaw on the chuck. And then crank it down. No, they don't recommend also on the worm gear to go anything larger than 10 inch and 4 inches out for like a bowl for this size worm gear and chuck. This is now almost 100% set. All we got to do is put in that once I find it. But for the most part, this chuck is a great chuck made by Nova. Nova makes great ones. There's other chucks out there that work just as good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I just went with Nova because I had the mid-eye lathe and they offer the chuck that wouldn't burn up my spindle and spindle bearings. So, anyways, they have benefits and features. It's small, it's compact, it's designed, it minimizes the load on the small spindles and the bearings as I stated. It's precisely machined. It's got an open back, which means this. for easy cleaning. You can blow all your dust out of your wood chips, so it's a lot easier to clean out. It's got a powerful gear grip with tough lock technology. It's a single-handed operation when it's on the lathe. The body, this part here, is made out of 1045 high tensile steel, and it's polished. Now, all the Nova chucks that are out there will fit on every single Nova chuck. So they're interchangeable, which is nice about the Nova system. So you can get a whole spule of jaws. You have the Nova Pen Plus jaw. You have the mini jaw set. You have a 25 millimeter 1-inch jaw set. You have a pin 1-inch jaw set. 35 millimeter bowl jaw set. You have the 50 millimeter 2-inch jaw set. You have a 75 millimeter 3-inch bowl jaw set. Now this would be considered the 2-inch. Then you have a 75 millimeter 3-inch long nose jaw set, a step jaw set, a spigot jaw set, and then you're going to get into the two jaws that they do not recommend for the Nova G3, and that is the 100 millimeter 4-inch jaw and 130 millimeter 5-inch jaw. And then they also have a power grip jaw set. And again, the thing that I'm missing is called the chuck insert. Now you can also get a coal jaw set, or the Nova soft jaw. Those are the big discs with the little buttons on them that you can take a bowl that would be on the dished side or the concave. You put that against it, you bring them down to tighten it to finish the bottom side of your bowl off. No, Nova, again, like I said, is versatile, and the reason I like it is because of the different jaws you can put on it, and it's across all of their chucks. You can use it. It's a great feature. This is, oh, I don't know, five pounds maybe. So, yeah, that's about it. I like it. I'm going to try it out on the lathe when I get a chance. I'm sure I'm going to love it on there. So what do you get with the G3? Well, you get the chuck, the worm gear, the T-handle, you get the Allen wrenches, you get all the screws, you get one set of jaws, and you get the set screw to tighten down your chuck insert. Like I said, I got this for $109. You see them all different priced all over the internet. I really don't believe it matters where you get it from, as long as you can try to save yourself some money, especially if you're buying more than one. So, all right. I guess that's it for today. It was great to have you guys here in the shop one more time. I hope you got something out of this, at least maybe how to assemble your chuck if you've never done it. I know a lot of professional wood turners that are actually doing this day in, day out. Probably doesn't mean anything to you guys. But it's an instructional video. I really appreciate you all coming. If you liked it, please subscribe. Hit the like button. And we're going to be doing some more reviews. We got this here. That's going to be a product review. Then we are going to get into this product review. So we got a couple more videos coming up. So stay tuned to the channel. Hope to see you guys soon. Happy New Year. Don't party too hard, don't drink and drive, be safe. Jeff from Wisconsin Woodworking telling you a tree's work is never done. Make some sawdust and enjoy your shop. Take care, we'll see you on the next video.